This is Sensei Longwind, and I just had a thought. At what age do you expect your walking around defensive ability to start dropping off?
Hello, Wu Ming here. A very good friend of mine, Sensei Longwind, asked this question, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on the question. I think it's a great question to ask, and I think it's a question that a lot of people maybe that are not so well trained or that are very young would have a very skewed perspective of. In me, I'm 41 years old, to give you some perspective on that, so I can speak as to how a 40-year-old can feel physically. And the question was obviously, when do you expect your walking around defensive ability to decline, I guess. So first of all, this is not a very easy question to answer because everyone's going to be different, and it depends on how you train. It depends on what you do for work, how much punishment your body is taking on a daily basis, what you're doing to mitigate that destruction that you're doing to your body. Like, are you stretching? Are you keeping in good shape? Do you work out? And do you work out properly with proper technique and slowly and not in ways that can injure yourself, etc.? Do you actually fight in a ring where you're actually getting hit all the time? Because that adds up. So, like, a lot of people from an MMA perspective are going to say, like, you're past it once you're like 30 or something, right? Or definitely 40. GSP is about my age, and I believe that he could still fight really good right now. But his body, because he is an MMA fighter, has taken tons of damage, tons of punishment. And that can't just be wished away or something like that. Like, that takes a toll on your body. Any sort of extreme exercise like that, or extreme amounts of what's the word? I don't know. Shock to your body, shock to your system, it's going to take a toll. And a lot of fighters can get injuries in old age and therefore not be able to fight as well or defend themselves as well. But if you train in a way where you are not injuring yourself, if you do things like Qigong, Tai Chi, everyone makes fun of this shit, especially MMA people. They make fun of Tai Chi and Qigong, but it's Tai Chi and Qigong that gives you longevity, that allows people that are even 80, 90 years old to still be able to defend themselves. And you'd never see it coming. You would think that this 90-year-old man has no ability whatsoever, like every other 90-year-old man. But if he's been doing Qigong and Qigong and and did spend a lot of time doing Kung Fu when he was young, and has moved into more from a external side, more into the internal arts, you'd be very surprised what someone can do with a lot of skill, a lot of training, even in very old age, 80, 90 years old. That being said, in general, if it's a 40-year-old versus a 90-year-old, 99% of the time, it's going to be the 40-year-old that wins. When do I think is the prime? A lot of people would say in the 20s. No way you're in your prime in your 20s. No way. I don't care what you do or what you say. It's just not true. Probably 30 is your peak physical age. I would say your peak, though, is actually for fighting is actually 40. The reason I say that is because you're a lot wiser at that age, and you've had a lot more experience at that age. And your body has had time to mature. After 40, I think you're going to start to decline in a physical strength sense. But like I say, if you do Qigong, if you keep working out, if you lift weights and you do so without injuring yourself, that you can defend yourself, very long time, 70, 80, even 90 years old. Obviously, again, as you get older, it becomes less and less likely that you will be able to defend yourself in certain situations, especially with younger attackers and whatever. But at the same time, it's still possible to keep yourself in good enough condition that at age 80 or 90 that you could defend yourself, at least in some situations, even with younger attackers. So that's my perspective. Sorry it took me so long to make this video, because I've been working what I would call extreme amounts of overtime at work, so I haven't had the time to do this. But that's my perspective. I'm sure a ton of people disagree with me. Most of them will be MMA fans, but that really doesn't matter to me. Anyways, blessings to everybody.